What's up, family? Man, I want to have a real heart-to-heart with you guys today. Man, um, when I found true happiness. So many of us were so desperate. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere today. So many of us, we think that, man, if I could just fall in love, if I could fall in love with somebody, man, I'll be completely happy. And what I've had to learn the hard way, what God has had to show me the hard way, falling in love with somebody doesn't make you happy. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. Man, you're happy and it's a superficial happy. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you that overwhelming joy, peace, you know what I mean? That passes all understanding. It's a superficial happiness. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere, I promise you that. We're all excited and man, it's just, life is great because you're in love with somebody. And then when the relationships hits rocky roads, when they start having problems, man, you lose that happiness. You lose that peace, that joy, that excitement that you had about life. You're no longer on cloud nine anymore. And we get frustrated and we start pointing the finger at all these people. We start pointing the finger at this person because they're not making me happy anymore. We start pointing the finger at this, whether it's the job or the finances, whatever it is. It's something that's robbing us of our peace. Something's robbing us of our joy. Something's robbing us of that happiness we had, that passion, that desire for life that we had. Oh, we're going there today. We're going there. And we don't understand it. And what God has had to show me the hard way is, Elijah, when are you going to grow up? Elijah, see, so many of humanity, they're looking for somebody to fall in love with. And they're not even in love with themselves. Elijah, so many of you, you're at war with yourself, and yet at the same time, you're trying to find somebody to fall in love with. You don't even like you. You don't even accept you, and you're looking for somebody to distract you and to fall in love with them. You're looking for somebody to come in and sweep you off your feet. And you're at war with yourself. You can't even stand yourself. And you're expecting for somebody else to come in and fall in love with you. You're expecting somebody to come in and just be captivated by you and mesmerized by you and accept you and embrace you, all of you. And you can't even do that for yourself. You don't even accept all of you. You don't even like all of you, and you're wanting somebody to come in and fall head over heels for you. I'm talking about true happiness. True happiness is never found falling in love with somebody else. See, we have this messed up, twisted concept in America that, man, if I could just fall in love, my life would be so happy. If I could just find the right person to fall in love with, everything would be perfect. If I could just find the right person, man, my finances would be straight. Man, all my issues would be okay. And I wouldn't have any issues if I could just find somebody, the right person to fall in love with. My life is messed up because I keep falling in love with the wrong people. No, your life is fucked up because you're fucked up because you're trying to fall in love with somebody. You're trying to fall in love with somebody. And if the truth be told, you're at war with you. And because you're at war with yourself, you fall in love with people who are at war with themselves. Did you catch that? You're at war with you. And you turn around and fall in love with somebody at war with themselves. And you guys think this is the answer. This is it. And then when you come out of the clouds and you see it for what it really is, you ain't happy. When you see it for what it is, and you see that this person got some fucked up ways about them, and you see that this person, man, they make you fucking miserable. And it's not that they really make you miserable. You were already miserable. You're just projecting your misery off on them. You're just blaming them for your misery. Because you're already miserable before they came into your life. They were just a great distraction for you. They just took your mind off of your misery. They just took your mind off of your self-hatred. They just took your mind off of your low self-esteem. They just took your mind off of your other insecurities and issues. They were a great distraction for you. And now that they're not a distraction for you, and you see life for what it was and what it is, you're miserable again. You're frustrated again. Your issues are staring you in the face again. But we don't want to grow the fuck up and own that shit, so we point the finger at them. And we say, they're not the one. I thought they were the one. They're not the one. We have to grow up. And what God had to show me was, Elijah, as long as you're looking for somebody to fall in love with, you're always going to be miserable. Elijah, as long as you're looking for somebody to fall in love with, you're always going to end up disappointed. Elijah, life is not about you falling in love with somebody else. Life is about you growing the fuck up and falling in love with life. See, we don't want to deal with that shit. We don't want to grow the fuck up and accept it for what it is. And so we keep looking to people to save us and to rescue us from our miserable fucking life. Because we don't want to grow up and deal with the stuff and our trauma and our issues. We don't want to learn how to fall in love with ourselves. We don't want to learn how to fall in love with life. The great majority is we never even fathom the fact that we can be in love with life and not in love with somebody else. We can be in love in life or be in love with life and not have somebody else in our life. See, because we have this twisted concept that if I'm single, I'm miserable. If I'm single, I'm lonely. If I'm single, I'm not fulfilled. If I'm single, I can't be happy. If I'm single, I can't be in love. When the truth is, when I fall in love with life, it's not even that I fall in love with life. I grow in love with life. I grow in love with my life. See, when you grow in love with life, none of the other things even matter. When I grow in love with my life, man, I'm not focused and fixated on how much money I have coming in. When I grow in love with my life, man, I'm not tripping off who is in my life and who ain't in my life. When I grow in love with my life, I'm not tripping on where I live and how big my place is. I'm not tripping off that superficial shit. I'm in love with life. When I grow in love with life, When I grow in love with my life, I'm on a frequency of complete gratitude. One thing God had to show me years ago, I have a daughter. You guys know I have four daughters. One of my daughters, mom, my second youngest daughter. When the relationship ended, she had this mentality that if I can't have you, then nobody will. She told me that. She told my younger kid's mom that if I can't have Elijah, then I'm going to make it so that nobody can have him. And she did everything in her power to get me caught up in some bullshit so that nobody can have me. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. I had done some stupid shit in the past. Some real stupid shit. She was with me. She knew about it. She was okay with it. Until the relationship went bad. She wasn't tripping off the stuff that I was doing. Until the relationship ended. Now she wanted to hold that against me. Now she wanted to use that against me. Now she's trying to take my freedom. Now she wants to use my past against me. I was facing 35 years in federal penitentiary, doing federal time. 35 years. That's what I was facing. But God. But God. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. God knew my heart. God knew my intentions. God showed me grace. God had mercy on my ignorant ass. I didn't do 35 years. This was in 2000. I would still be locked up right now. I would still be locked up. But God. Stay with me. And God has to remind me from time to time. And God's had to remind me from time to time. Because this was 2000. When my wife passed away in 2015. And I went into this despair and depression and suicidal thoughts. God had to remind me, Elijah, if I had allowed you to be locked up behind that bullshit back in 2000, you would have never met your wife. You would have never met Cecilia. You guys would have never had the experiences that you did. You guys would have never gotten married and had the life that you did. I know you're mad at me right now. I know you don't understand why I'm taking her away. Don't lose it, Elijah. Elijah, remember, this is all good. This is all icing on cake. Because had they had their way, you would have never had these experiences. Had they had you would have never met the love of your life. Had they had their way, you would have never did da-da-da-da-da, and you would have never did da-da-da-da-da, and you would have never traveled to da-da-da-da, you would have never saw China, and you would have never had these kids, and you would have never experienced that. You've experienced so much, Elijah, that this person didn't want you to. That this person tried to deprive you of. Elijah, Gratitude. It don't matter how bad things look. It don't matter how things look to you, Elijah. Remember, it's all good. I wouldn't be in this position if I was locked up. I wouldn't have all these great opportunities to travel and do and experience all these things had I been locked up. Remember where you came from. Remember what you were facing. I'm talking about falling in love with life. And so when God brings that back to my remembrance from time to time, and he had to bring it back to my remembrance last year when the woman that I would dogged me the fuck out again. Or not again, but dogged me the fuck out. And I found myself homeless, losing everything that I had. It was easy for me to go left and become a victim and get mad and whoop. And God had to remind me, Elijah, you've been here before. Elijah, remember, it's all good. You wouldn't be here in New York had you not made it out of that situation. You wouldn't have had all these beautiful experiences if you'd been locked up. Count it all joy. Count it all joy. I know it hurts. I know you're frustrated. I know you're pissed off because you're focused on the wrong things. Gratitude. You know how many guys wish they were out? You know how many guys wish they could say that they were homeless, sleeping on the train, as opposed to sleeping in a freaking prison cell? You know how many guys wish they had the experiences that you've had? Count it all joy. Learn to fall in love with life. See, when you fall in love with people, people are going to disappoint you. People are going to let you down. And that's going to take your joy, your peace, and your happiness with it. But when you grow in love with life, it don't matter what other people do. When you grow in love with life, it don't matter about your circumstances. When you grow in love with life, it don't matter what you have. When you grow in life, it don't matter what falls away. When you grow in love with life, it's all good. It's all good. When you grow in love with life, nothing can rob you of your joy, of your peace, of your happiness. When you grow in love with life, you sit back and you're grateful for it all. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. You're grateful for all of it. When you fall or not fall, when you grow in love with life. See, Elijah, tell the people that's where they're missing it. They're focused on falling in love with somebody else. And as long as you fall in love with somebody else, you can fall right back out of love. As long as you fall in love with somebody else, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You're setting yourself up for a major crash. Because it's not about falling in love with somebody else. It's about growing in love with life. When you fall in love with somebody else, you give that person power over your peace. You give that person power over your joy. You give that person power over your happiness. But when you grow in love with life, When you grow in love with life, nothing can take your peace. Nothing, no one has the power to rob you of your joy. No one has the power or ability to take your happiness. Because your happiness isn't based on circumstances. Your happiness, your joy, your peace is based on life. Life. Every day you wake up, I'm just in love. Every day you wake up, whether you have the mobility in your body or not, every day you wake up, you're just grateful to be above ground. Every day you wake up is I'm grateful and I'm happy to open my eyes. Why? Because everybody didn't see this day. Everybody didn't make it this far. I'm happy. Not with what I have. I'm happy with life because I understand it could be so much worse. I'm at peace with where I am and what I have. Why? Because I understand I can have so much less. It's not about what I have. It's about the fact that I have life. I have life. And I could choose to do something with this life. I could choose to be a blessing in somebody's life. I could choose to encourage, inspire, and uplift somebody. Because I've learned to grow in love with life. And when you grow in love with life, everything else works out. Because you're in that frequency of love and gratitude. I've told you guys in the past, gratitude is the cheat code for life. Gratitude. I can't be in love with life and not be grateful. Let me say it again. I can't be in love with life and not be grateful. I have to be grateful first. Being grateful is a prerequisite for me to be in love with life. And the truth is, the great majority of us aren't in love with life because we're not grateful. We're not grateful. We're grateful for circumstances. We're not grateful for life. We might be grateful for our job. We might be grateful for the money. We might be grateful for our place to stay. But it's the truth, the great majority of us aren't even grateful for that. Because we go to work and we complain about it. We go to work and we complain about all the work we have to do. We go to work and we complain about the traffic on the way to work. We complain about the traffic on the way from work. So we're really not grateful for the job. we have to grow up. We have to understand that, man, I got to relax. I got to pump my brakes. I got to stop looking for things and people to make me happy. Because I give people and those things power over my happiness. And then when I lose those people and lose those things, I lose my happiness. I lose my joy. I lose my peace. I lose my love. I lose my passion for living because I put my hope and my faith in people and in these things. Man, we got to grow up. I hope and pray that I said something to bless you, to encourage you, to inspire you, or to even challenge your way of thinking. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.